Hello, guys, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. 9 out of 12 games of Super 8 have been played, and three big games are left. And tomorrow morning and in local time, tonight is the big match, West Indies versus South Africa. It's a virtual quarterfinal. South Africa have a good record versus West Indies in T20 World Cups, but West Indies have won two T20 World Cups. South Africa have never won it. South Africa are coming unbeaten into this World Cup. But let's talk about that a little bit later. First, I want to say this Super 8 thing, I'm not very happy about the format. I must say I'm not very happy because it neutralizes 15 days of cricket that you played in the first stage, and you have to start afresh in the Super 8, and one loss in a group of four teams can eliminate you, and that's what can happen with India and South Africa. If you see, they are unbeaten in the tournament, but yes, there are some combinations and permutations that can still eliminate both India and South Africa. Although India the elimination is highly improbable. They need some Bangladesh, I think, needs to beat Afghanistan by 83 runs. I don't think that's happening. Plus, India need to lose by a big margin to Australia. But South Africa's elimination is very much possible if West Indies win the game today. Uh, it's very much possible for West Indies to win, to eliminate South Africa. So West Indies totally. Also, you see England. England has gone into the semi-finals by defeating just one test nation, and that test nation is West Indies. They've beaten Oman, Namibia, and today they beat USA, and that's all the teams that they've actually beaten. They've lost to South Africa, they've lost to Australia, but they are going to the semi-finals easily. So this format was great initially because it allowed the associate nations, the so-called minnows, to play, to take on the big giants of Test cricket, the big established nations who play cricket. But now it is just ruining the 15 days of tournament, and it's nullifying what you did in those tournament. It's almost like a knockout now, except it's not a knockout. So that's the format they've chosen for this. What I would have suggested is if some points would have carried forward from the opponents who are qualifying for Super 8, that would have meant a lot. That means Australia would have had 2 points, and now with just one defeat or two defeats, they can go out. But Australia could have had 2 points for beating England. Similarly, West Indies could have had 2 points for beating Afghanistan. India could have had 2 points for beating USA. So the teams who have qualified, your head-to-head encounter versus them, you could have given them some points for that. That's one change in the format that I wish to see in the next T20 World Cup. ICC, please listen to this. And if any of you can just share it with the ICC, I would be really glad because it's making too much of a knockout thing, this Super 8s. Otherwise, just have a knockout tournament, quarterfinals, plus semi-finals and everything. Because England's qualification right now and South Africa's possible elimination, it's not fair, I think, because England have lost to both Australia and South Africa. South Africa, if they go down to West Indies, they'll be out of the tournament. So yes, it's a bit tricky. They've beaten Sri Lanka, they've beaten Bangladesh, they've beaten England. So definitely, I mean, they deserve to go through more than England into the semi-finals. But yeah, that's been the thing, and it kind of makes some of the games irrelevant. Like if you see the South Africa England game, it's not really relevant who won it because what will matter is South Africa winning versus West Indies and South Africa winning versus earlier versus USA. Those games would probably matter more. So that's the change in format. I would say points carried forward. This concept was applied in 2003 World Cup, where India and Australia, played the finals. If you remember that, surely Indian fans remember that game. So that's about the format. Now coming to West Indies versus South Africa, India versus Australia, Afghanistan versus Bangladesh. There are a lot of scenarios. I'm going to read those scenarios in a while. But first, before we go to, because this thing is now on my mind, so I just want to discuss the scenarios which are going. So if Australia win and Afghanistan also win. So Australia beating India, first of all, that's a big if. So if Australia beat India, Afghanistan will need a 36 run margin win against Bangladesh to move ahead of Australia. Now that's 36 runs. It's around 4.3 overs of, if they are chasing, they need to finish it 4.3 overs earlier. I mean, to eliminate India, like I said, it's almost impossible. So Australia will need to beat India by 41 runs, which is highly improbable. And Afghanistan will have to beat Bangladesh by 83 runs. So that's almost impossible. I mean, it could happen, but very improbable. And so if Afghanistan lose and Australia lose, so Australia need to lose by 31 runs for their run rate to slip below that of Afghanistan. So if both the countries lose, then Australia will need to lose bigger. So Australia has a slight advantage if they are losing and also Afghanistan is losing. And Afghanistan win. So simply they both go forward. There is no, this is the most straightforward scenario. India and Afghanistan winning and going forward. So there is no net run rate calculation here. But coming back to South Africa, West Indies, India, Australia, and Bangladesh, Afghanistan, uh, it's a great matchup. South Africa, West Indies. I had said this is going to be the decider. Antigua is the venue for this, and it's going to be very interesting. Uh, West Indies pace attack needs to stand up, and Obed McCoy must be played. I think the same lineup should be played. Roston Chase, obviously, he has delivered and again, so he will be played. West Indies will use the three spinners again, I think. And let's see what happens because this is a high scoring venue. There, we have seen that night games. Chasing has been easier. Chasing has been easier, and so they may prefer chasing the team winning the toss. For our purpose, I hope it's West Indies who win the toss, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But India versus Australia tomorrow night. It's going to be even more interesting what happens there. Australia will be pumped up. All their competitive juices will be kicking out. And also Afghanistan versus Bangladesh. Afghanistan, who probably has not slept a night, they have celebrated with DJ Bravo all night. I don't know what kind of team, what kind of frame they will be in to when they come for the Bangladesh match. So lot of interesting things happening. This is a superb World Cup. But today we said goodbye to one of the teams for which we will be remembering this World Cup, that is United States of America. It was a timid performance in the sense they did really didn't have the quality. They lost a big player in Monang Patel. That was a big injury. He got injured while celebrating. That was sad to hear. And after that, they have not looked the same actually since Monang Patel went out. And I'm just imagining for some of those semi-professional players, tomorrow will be a Monday blues, one of the worst Monday blues any employee of any company would have faced because, of course, they'll be returning back to their jobs from Monday or Tuesday whenever that happens. I think it will be sooner because it's a flight to Florida from Caribbean islands. So, yeah, it was sad, but a lot of credit to England. Yeah, I'm saying it's unfair that they're qualifying, but they've played some outstanding cricket and they've drubbed the minnows in convincing manners. And today, Adil Rashid and the Barbados-born Chris Jordan took a hat trick today. But Adil Rashid was just superb. In fact, DM Livingston was superb. Both the spinners conceding just 37 runs in their 8 overs. They were awesome. And I don't know if I look at the last game, that is Bangladesh and Afghanistan. It will depend on which pace attack can bowl more slower balls, can have more variations within them. Right now, it looks like Afghanistan. They have Bangladesh only have Fizz, I feel, who can do that job. But there are two or three guys in Afghanistan. Naib, we have seen Naib. We have seen Naveenul Haq, Fazal Haq. Faruqi also has slower balls. more pacers in Afghanistan can do that. Spinners also, they have the better quality than Bangladesh, who are mostly dependent on Rishad and Shakib. Shakib has not been in full flow in this tournament with the ball. So that match is the last match, and it's going to be a big decider. Plus, let's see what happens in West Indies versus South Africa. West Indies has to go all guns blazing. They have to do their best, and it will be unfortunate for South Africa if they go out. But I think their margins of victory have been very close. It doesn't matter who the opposition was, but certainly it will be very unfair. And I think West Indies, if they get eliminated, I think it will be fair because they lost to both uh, England and South Africa. That once you do that, I mean, uh, you can't go ahead. So that's the wrap of the Super 8 till now. Thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe our channel Cricket Caviar for more content. We'll be back soon after tomorrow's game. Thank you and take care. Good night.